Alright guys, so welcome to the Photoshop editing module of the course. Now in this module I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use Photoshop to create the images that you want for your landing page. And now you can take these skills that you learned creating the images for your landing page and apply the same concepts to create your homepage as well later down the road. If you don't want to use Photoshop, that's completely fine. You could hire designers on Fiverr. And later on down the road, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use Canva as well, which is an online cloud-based editing software. That's a little bit easier than Photoshop. But for generally all purposes, I use Photoshop for everything, and most of the times I don't even hire designers because Photoshop is so easy to use and it's extremely fast. So I highly recommend you to try Photoshop out and learn this skill because it's going to be very valuable for you when it comes to dropshipping and moving fast. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is click on Create New and set the width and the height for your layer. Now we usually set 1080 by 1080, which is going to give you a high resolution square, and then make sure it's set to pixels and then click on Create. So now that you have this box, you want to import your image into it, and to do that it's quite simple. Just go into whatever image folder you have, grab the image that you want and drag it onto Photoshop. Now once you have the image on here, the first thing we want to do here is resize it. So resizing it is quite simple. Just click on this cursor over here and then make sure you check on the show transform controls. So once that's selected, you'll see this little rectangle here and you can drag it however you like, so bigger or smaller. So we're going to make it to an appropriate size that fits the screen, and then we'll center align it like that, and as you can see the guidelines pop up, so it tells you exactly where the center point is, and then click on enter. Now the next thing you want to do is you want to remove this branding over here, and to do that, that's quite simple. Just click on the brush tool over here, and then you want to set the brush color to the same background color. So use the dropper tool, select the background color, and then hit OK. Now the brush is set to the background color, but you can't edit this yet because this layer is an object, so you have to rasterize it. So all you have to do is click on it, and it's going to say smart object must be rasterized. Rasterize the smart object, and then hit OK. Now you can just color right over the layer, and as you can see, we have removed the branding. So once that's done, this is going to be the main image for the product. So let's go to File, Save As, and then locate whatever folder you want to save it into. So we're going to go into Mr. Neck, change that into a JPEG. Now you could save it as a PNG, which is a much higher resolution image, but I recommend the JPEG because the file size will be much smaller, which is going to lead to faster load times on your website. And faster load times are quite crucial because if a customer can't open your website in a certain amount of time, they're most likely going to bounce. So I definitely recommend you to save as JPEG. So let's name this product image and then click on save. Now it's going to ask you what kind of quality you're looking for, and I always recommend 8 because at 8 it's not going to be, the image won't be pixelated and people will still be able to see a clear image, and it's going to also keep the file size low. So as you can see, it's 164 kilobytes. If you raise this to 12, it goes up to 414, so that's almost a triple increase in size. So let's keep it at 8 and then click on OK. Alright, so there you go. That's the product image for your landing page. Now let's move on to the other pictures that we have. Alright, so let's move on to the next image of the lander. So let's click on File, New, set it to 1080 by 1080, the exact same, pixels, and then click on Create. It must be glitching. One sec. Yeah, I'm actually not sure why this image came with this. It must be a glitch. So we're gonna actually delete that. And then we're gonna drag the new image that we want, which is going to be this one. Now we can go back to the transform options here and resize it a bit. So maybe make it a little bit bigger, move it towards the left a bit, and then press enter. Now the next thing we want to do is remove the before and after over here because we're going to be replacing that with some text. So transform this into a rasterized object, hit OK. and then color over it with the brush tool. Alright, so now that that's done, we want to make a little rectangular box on the right side. So just grab the rectangle tool and make a box about this big. I think looks good. And we're gonna move the box over to the right. Now as you can see, the box is white, so you can't really see it. So what we're gonna do is change the color of the box. So double click right here on the layer, and it's gonna bring up the color picker. And in the color picker, we're gonna use the color green for the site. So let's try to find a good green that looks very therapeutic. Maybe around... perfect. Alright, so that looks pretty good. So the next thing we're going to do is put some text inside of here. And to do that, we're going to grab the text layer right here. Select anywhere on the screen. And then we're going to write effective 4. Now grab the text here and just drag it over the box. And as you can see, it's a little bit tiny right now. So let's make it a little bit bigger. Like this. And move it towards the center. And as you can see, the little purple line shows up to indicate that it's in the exact center. So we're going to just drop it right here. And the next thing we want to do is add all the different symptoms that this device is effective against. So click on the text layer again, and then just write whatever the symptoms are. So pinched nerves is one. And we're going to actually left align everything, so click on this, go back to the cursor, and then we're going to enlarge it to about, I think about this size. It's quite good. And we're going to put it on the side. Now I do see that there's quite a big gap between the pinched and the nerves, so we're going to reduce that by clicking on this A icon over here. I'm not sure why it's not popping up. I'm actually not sure why this isn't popping up. Hold on. Must be a glitch actually. I don't know why there's so many glitches today. Maybe I gotta go back into this perhaps. Oh wow, this is glitched so fucking hard. Holy fuck. What the fuck? This is so glitched. Oh my god. Yeah, sometimes Photoshop will glitch like this, guys. So just be wary about that. But there are fixes. So what we should probably do here is we can save the layer by going to File, Save. And then we're gonna save this inside the folder. And we're gonna save it as a PSD, that way you can reopen it. Hit OK. Now it's saved. Let's see. Yeah, so as you can see, the glitch is this, where this image over here is somehow replicating onto this layer over here, and that's not supposed to be happening. So let me see if I close this one out. Oh wow, this layer's gone now. Alright, let's close this one out too. I don't understand what's going on with Photoshop right now. But anyways, let's see if we can fix it. Let's go back to File, Open, go into Desktop, and then now we have the PSD here. So reopen the PSD layer. Alright, perfect, now we have it here. And it looks like the glitch is fixed. So we go back over to pinched nerves here, select it, and what we want to adjust is this right here. And it's going to change the space. And we'll make it as close as possible. Now we're going to change the color on this to white, so it's easy to differentiate between the header and the actual list. And then we're just going to left align it right here. Alright, so that's perfect. So the next thing you want to do is duplicate the layer, so hit Command J. And then you're going to drop it down just a little bit, maybe about right here. And then put the next item, so muscle strain. Perfect. Alright, so we gotta keep on making the list, so hit Command J again to duplicate it. then move it down here, and you want to keep the same spacing. So Photoshop is telling you that right now there's a 61 pixel spacing between the first item and the second item, so you want to keep the third item the same spacing. So drop it right there. Now change that into neck stiffness. Perfect. Now the next one is going to be cervical neck spasm, so drop this one down, same exact spacing, 61. Now let's change that to cervical neck spasm. Now as you can see, the text is a little bit too big, so it's kind of jumping out of here. Plus there's one more item on the list that we have to fit. So in order to do that, we're going to actually highlight all of these items right here up to pinched nerves, and as you can see, it grabs everything. And to do that, you just click on the first one, hold shift, and click on the last item, and I'll select all of them at once. Now grab your picker and just make it a little bit smaller, maybe about this size. You're gonna left align it again. Perfect. And go back to cervical neck spasm, hit Command J, and then drop it down to the same exact pixels. So 51 pixels is the exact spacing between each item, so we'll keep it at that. And then we'll change this into herniated discs. Alright, perfect. So our image is finished now. Let's actually save it. Oh, so we gotta save it as an image. So by saving it right here without clicking on save as, you're actually just saving the PSD. So let's click on save as. Go into the folder. So I guess I am in Mr. Neck here. So we're gonna call it Lander oh, excuse me, Lander image 1, and then save it as a JPEG. Alright, perfect. So click on save, and then we'll keep the quality as at 8, and then click on OK. Alright, so there you have it. That's the first image for the Lander. Now let's move on to the next one. Alright, so for the next God, I don't know what's wrong with that voice, but anyways, for the next image we want to do the same thing. Go to File, New, 1080 by 1080 pixels, create, and then go and drag and drop the second image, which is this one. Now this image looks great, but I think there's a few tweaks that we could do to it, and the first thing would be putting a before and after over here, and then listing out what kinds of results you could see from before and after. So let's click enter, drop the layer inside, and the first thing we want to do is delete all of this stuff over here and delete all of this stuff over here. So let's go back to the brush tool again, hit OK, and we're going to delete all this stuff right here, and we're also going to delete all this stuff over here. And the way I want to list out the before and after is I want to put a black rectangular box over here. So let's go to the rectangle tool, change the color of the rectangle to black. Or actually, I guess we don't have to use black, we could use the same color green. So go back to the previous layer, get this, get the color picker, and then grab this ID right here. So let's go back over here and change that to green. Oh, so it's already set, so yep. So now that's green. Just gotta draw out the box here on the top now. About this size would be good. And we're gonna adjust it to fit exactly inside the layer. Perfect. Alright, so on the top over, actually I see a little gap here, so grab the picker again and then use the arrow key up to move the layer. Alright. Now grab the text tool, and we're gonna write before, and we're also gonna change the color of that to black so it's easy to read. And then we're gonna enlarge the size a bit, maybe about this size, and we're just gonna drag it on top of the layers. So right over here looks good. Then we're gonna duplicate it one more time by hitting Command J, moving the layer to the side, and then type in after. So now as you can see, you got before and after, but the only problem is you're not sure if these are exactly center aligned within this layer. So to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to actually make another box. And this box can be whatever color you want it to be. So we'll just make it pink for now. And we're just going to draw a box like this, exactly in the center based around that little line we had. And then we're going to also adjust the size of the box so it's exactly in the same spot. And then all you have to do is click on the before layer, hit command to select both the before and this box, and then click on the center alignment. And now it's exactly centered within the box. So we're going to do the same thing for this side. So go to the rectangle here and just drag it over to the right until it's exactly aligned. Then select after, hold command, grab both layers, and click on center. And now it's exactly center aligned. So then what you can do is you could just delete the box. Alright, so now we have before and after with this nice green box here. We just have to list out some of the before and afters. So click on the text tool here and let's start writing. So the first thing is this discomfort and pain. And I don't want this to be all in caps so it's easy to read. So let's turn that off. And then we're going to turn extra bold off as well, and maybe turn it into a semi-bold. And then we're going to also reduce the size to about that size. And we're going to line that right here in the center. That should be quite easy, I think. Or maybe not. Oh man, I should not have gotten rid of that box then. But anyways, I'll show you guys the solution in a second. Let's write the list first. So hit Command J again. Get 2 of these. Stiff neck muscles. Hit Command J again. Cervical pressure. And Command J again. Poor neck posture. Alright, perfect. So we got all these right here. Now we can grab them in one go like this and move it to however you want it to be. I'm trying to get it exactly on the center point right now. Oh, there we go. So as you can see, the purple line lines up exactly in the center of before, and that's how you know it's exactly in the center of the left side. So let's keep it right there. And then the next thing you want to do is I kind of want to make some bullet points here. So I'm going to hit Option to zoom with the scroll key. And then go back to the rectangle and hold your mouse on it. Then you can change it into an ellipse. So now with the ellipse tool, what we can do is use the color pink because that kind of matches with the image. And then we're going to draw some dots. So hold shift to get an exact circle. And as you can see, now we have a little dot right here. We're going to hold option again and scroll with the mouse wheel to zoom in a bit. And then I'm going to align this perfectly with this layer here. See what? Yeah, so right here is the exact center alignment on the layer. So we're going to keep it right there. Then we're going to hit Command J again to dupe it. Scroll it down here. Perfect. Command J. Scroll it down here. Perfect. Command J again. Scroll it down here. Oops. Alright, perfect. So now we have the bullet points to separate out each of the list. And we're going to zoom back out. And as you can see, that's looking pretty nice. But I think one thing is this image is a little bit too close to the text. So we're going to scroll down here, grab the layer, hit the cursor tool, and actually move it down just a little bit. Maybe over here. And then the next thing we want to do is we're going to grab all the list items right here, hold the shift key, and then hit Command G to group the entire layer. Now I think this is a little bit too close to the top. It's a little bit too close to the before, so I want to move the whole thing down. So the first thing you have to do is you have to uncheck auto select, and then you can move it down a little bit. Alright, so I think that's perfect. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to fill up the after section over here. So hit Command J on so select the group first, and then hit Command J to dupe the entire group. and then hold the shift key and just drag it to the right side. And then once it's center aligned, drop it right there. Perfect. So then we want to change the text. So all you have to do is double click on it, and then we can write the next text: relief and comfort. Relaxed muscles. No cervical pressure. And proper posture. Alright, perfect. So we got this list over here now. Now we want to change the color of the bullets. So then all you gotta do is go to each ellipse and change it to the color you want. I want to change it to green, so I'll just select this. I'm gonna do that for each layer. Alright, perfect. So our image is done. That's looking pretty professional and nice. So now we just want to save it. So file, save as. We'll call this Lander image 2. Oh, oops, that was actually a Photoshop file, so we gotta go back, go to save as, and then change that into a JPEG. Perfect. And then hit OK. Alright, so there you have it. That's the second image of the Lander. Let's move on to the final one now. Alright, so on to the next image. Let's click on File, New, 1080 by 1080 pixels. Hit Create. And then we're just going to drag on the next image. Click on the clicker tool. And then what I want to do for this image is only use this image on top and take all these out. So to do that, it's quite simple. You just drag it until it's big enough where only the top image is showing. And then we're just going to move it down here. Ah, perfect. Then we're going to move it to the exact center point right here. And as you can see, the little bone is actually a little bit off from the center. So we're going to move it to the right just a tad. Perfect. Now for this section, I want to actually call this the science. And I want to keep the terminology simple because most people cannot understand the terminology if it's too complicated. So I'll just say the science at the top. Make this quite bold. I think extra bold looks nice. Turn that into white. And then we're going to enlarge it. Oops. And then we're going to center align it again. And as you can see, the bone is still not exactly on the center. So I'm going to actually grab the layer again and move it to the right just a bit. And then right below the science, I'm going to write behind Mr. Oops. We're going to make it a little bit smaller here, about that big, and change that into semi-bold. I'm going to move it right on top here. Then we're going to align the two, so grab both layers by holding Command, and then center align the two. Now the next thing we want to do is make sure it's exactly center aligned with the image, so grab both texts, grab the background layer, and then center align everything. Alright, perfect. So everything has been center aligned now, and I think this is good with the image. So we're just going to save it, File, Save As, Lander image 3. And then we're going to save it as a JPEG and click Save. I'll hit OK. And alright, so we're done with this image now. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, so let's move on to the final image now. So go into File, File, New, 1080 by 1080 pixels, Create, and then drop in the last image. Alright, so we got a lady sitting in front of a computer wearing the device. So this image is going to be used to showcase different scenarios the product can be used in. So we're gonna actually size it up a bit, about that size. We'll move it to the right just a tad, and then I want to make another box right here, and we'll make it about this big, and then we'll align it just like this, right in the center. And then I want to change the color of the box to the previous green, so go back to that layer, grab that green, hit OK, and switch back over here. So this layer is actually this color, so grab that, and then go back, double click on this layer, and then paste it in. So now it's green again. And for this one, I want to kind of drop the opacity a bit. So go into the opacity over here and drop it to maybe about 72%. So that way you could see the laptop a little bit. Now we could say on the top header, we could say perfect for. Make that a little bit bigger. We'll actually make it about the full size of the header or the box. I'm gonna drop it right there. Change the color on this to, let's say white looks pretty good. Yep. And then we're gonna actually duplicate this text layer. Hit Command J. Hold Shift and drag it down. And then we could say working on the computer. And we're going to reduce the size of it by a little bit. It's a little bit too big. Perfect. Now I want to kind of differentiate these two, so maybe I'll change perfect for into a different color. Maybe I'll change it to black. Yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. So now working on the computer right here, we should probably remove the caps from it. Make it a little bit bigger. And then we're going to duplicate the layer by hitting Command J again. Oops. Command J. Drag it down right here. Now we'll change this one into, let me see what I wrote on the copy. If you sit at the computer often, travel frequently, or suffer injuries, then the Mr. Neck is perfect for you. So this one we could say perfect for those who travel often. Hit Command J again. And we gotta make sure the spacing is the same, so that's 51 pixels. Perfect for, and the last one was suffering injuries. So we should write those who suffer injuries. And I kind of want to come up with one more just to fill in this space right here. So let's try to think of another item. Alright, so the last one, maybe people who are trying to improve their posture. So maybe we could write
health and fitness enthusiasts that want to...
I don't know about health and fitness enthusiasts. I think we could just write people who are looking to fix their posture.
Well, see, I don't know if the neck thing actually fixes...
Those who want to improve posture. So now that's quite long, and it's kind of messing up the entire box over here. So maybe we could grab all these by holding Shift and then making it a little bit tiny. Oh, that's a little bit too tiny now. So we got to come up with something else actually that can fit here. So maybe we'll change the text again. Oh, maybe we could say those who want good posture. Alright, that looks pretty good. And we'll make it a little bit smaller to fit. And now this box right here is a little bit too big. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually make the box smaller. So grab the box and oops. So to only adjust this part right here, you have to hold, oops. Maybe that's not it. you have to hold command and then drag this bottom part up. So yeah, as you can see, it's like if you just hold command, you could actually adjust the box too much. So make sure you when you're dragging it up, you drag it exactly straight, so like that. Alright, perfect. Alright, now the box is looking nice. We got everything filled out in here. The last thing we want to do is maybe move the box a little bit more down because it's a little bit too much towards the top. So all we have to do is grab this, grab all the layers, hit the moving icon, and then just adjust it a little bit. I think that's perfect right there. So yeah, there you have it. That's the final image. I want to save the file. File, save as. Go back into desktop. Mr. Neck. Lander image 4. Save it as a JPEG. And then hit save. Alright, quality 8. Hit OK. Okay, so that's how you edit all your images in Photoshop for your landing page. Now, if you had any questions about this Photoshop tutorial, just let us know in the comments of the course, and we'll do our best to respond to all of those inquiries.